Millions of America's veterans get health care from VA facilities across the country, but the massive mix of medicine and bureaucracy may be ripe for taxpayer ripoffs. Do you remember the first moment when you saw something that seemed very strange or suspicious?
He said, yeah, they're buying 500 drug-coated balloons, and it was already so gross amount of product, and it was one of those moments where it was over at that point for me.
The allegations are disputed by those accused. This week, a full measure investigation into claims of bribery and kickbacks in an alleged medical device scheme.
The presidential campaigns are in high gear, and so are concerns about who may try to interfere with them.
So it's not always Russia and China we need to be leery of.
We are our own worst enemy.
We look at the real threats of information as propaganda and who is using it against you.
The impact of the COVID pandemic is far from over, and so are the questions about the origin of the virus.
What is astonishing is the virus, which this vaccine is based on, was manipulated.
We sit for an interesting discussion on the vaccine, the virus, and how they may even influence the brain.
Welcome to Full Measure. I'm Sharyl Attkisson. We begin with the story of a whistleblower who says American tax dollars were squandered at a Veterans Affairs medical center in a startling bribery scheme. According to legal claims, for almost a decade, a company paid kickbacks to a VA surgical team to order massive numbers of unneeded medical devices and sometimes use them unnecessarily on vets. Those accused vehemently deny the accusations, and they're now the subject of a lawsuit and investigations. Tom Schrader's story as a whistleblower begins almost a decade ago. He was a sales manager at C.R. Bard, a company that sold devices like stents and balloons that doctors use to declog arteries.
Our job is kind of mutual. The sales component would be us introducing the product, telling them the differences, the benefits. And then the other side of it is they'll call us and say, hey, I want to use that because it sounds like something my patient could benefit from.
Schrader stirred a hornet's nest of controversy involving a competitor, a company called Medtronic.
I was blowing the whistle against a competitor organization. And so it was me watching another company, in this case Medtronic, abusing a system and what I allege abusing veterans' care.
The scandal centers on Medtronic's business with this small VA hospital in Wichita, Kansas.
The Wichita Veterans Administration Hospital opened its doors in 1933. 69 years later, in 2002, the facility was renamed in honor of Robert Joseph Dole.
Schrader says he heard rumors that Medtronic was bribing doctors and other staff at Dole VA to buy and use an incredible amount of unnecessary medical devices at taxpayer expense. Do you remember the first moment when you saw something that seemed very strange or suspicious or out of line to you that made you think this is not just an accident or a small problem?
Oh yeah, I'll never forget it. The incident was my new sales rep that I had hired in Wichita when I took over in 2015. He had finally gotten into the VA and he called me and he's like, Tom, it's all true. You got to see this. There's hundreds and hundreds of these drug-coated balloons and atherectomy products on the shelf. So I drove down the next day and we walked in there and sure enough, I took pictures of them. I'm like, this is insane.
Soon after, he says, one of his account managers told him that even though Dole VA had enough Medtronic products on the shelf to last a couple of years, it was buying still more.
He said, yeah, they're buying 500 drug-coated balloons, $500,000 worth of drug-coated balloons. I said, well, no, you got to be mistaken, because I was just there taking pictures, and it was already so gross amount of product, and it was one of those moments where it was over at that point for me. I was like, this is a massive issue.
Even worse, Schrader alleges, VA doctors were inserting excessive numbers of the Medtronic devices in veterans when not medically necessary. After hearing that many people had flagged the issues to no effect, Schrader filed a lawsuit in 2017 to blow the whistle. Evidence produced in court seems to raise possible financial motivations. In 2017, this Medtronic sales representative, Carrie Kirk, was in the operating room as VA doctors put over a dozen Medtronic devices in one vet. During 3 hours of surgery, she excitedly texts a colleague, Medtronic sales rep Doug Winger. "Just used 12 drug-coated balloons," Kirk writes. "Does that mean I owe you money?" Winger replies. "That's what I'm thinking," Kirk says. "And now 14 balloons." Winger, "But only one stent so far?" Kirk, "Thought we were done a few times. Now he's going back in to cut again. 17. Then 4 happy faces from Winger. "When it's over, just finished," writes Kirk, running to get them lunch. Kirk was questioned about the exchange in a deposition.
You stated, "That's what I'm thinking," 3 exclamation points, and I think we can agree now that you ended it with some sort of laughing face emoji, right?
Yes. I mean, to me, I'm being silly by the exclamation points.
Explain that to me. Why were you being silly?
I don't know, just, I didn't ask him for that, but yeah, he's like, "Hey, I give you a little bonus," and yeah, I'm just like, "That's what I'm thinking, ha ha."
Based on your recollection, why did you say "that's what I'm thinking"?
Just because it was a good case. I mean, there was, we sold product during that case.
By that measure, there were lots of good cases and lots of Medtronic products sold to Dole VA. According to an internal investigation, the medical center bought more of the devices than the top 3 larger VA hospitals combined, millions of dollars worth. At the same time, Medtronic representatives were apparently spending significant money buying meals for the VA surgical staff.
It is improper for sales representatives to buy meals for employees.
Rick Ament was head of the Dole VA Medical Center at the time. He says he'd grown suspicious when he noticed excessive spending for Medtronic devices. He opened an internal probe into what was going on with Medtronic and the VA surgical team in what's called the cath lab. In Ament's deposition, an attorney reads a partial list of meals Medtronic bought the VA staff.
An order for dozen oysters at $34, 2 orders of those, filet mignon, 2 orders for $76. And it goes on, adding lobster tail, 2 of those for a total of $84. Ribeye for $42, halibut for $40, filet mignon for $76.
In another deposition, Dole VA's cath lab manager, Terry Brinkley, was questioned about food Medtronic bought for her and others on the team after Medtronic scored a big sale.
There's a purchase for 127 drug-coated balloons for over $200,000 on July 24th, 2017. Did you see where that's at?
Yes.
We pulled some expense reports again, and roughly a week later on August 1st, there was an statement for $877.52 that Medtronic employees had purchased for the cath lab staff, including you, at the Newport Grill. Do you ever recall attending any dinners at the Newport Grill that were paid for by Medtronic?
Yes.
And again, this occurred roughly a week after this 127 drug-coated balloon purchase was made. Can you understand how a taxpayer may look at that and be concerned that the purchases of these meals might affect your decisions on whether or not to buy these devices from Medtronic?
Yes.
This is textbook inappropriate. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Does it give you concerns about kickbacks to influence purchasing?
This clearly gives the impression that influence is trying to be asserted. But I've been running hospitals for 35 years, and this infuriates me.
Why does it infuriate you?
This infuriates me because it feels like the Wild West.
Ament shut down the Dole's VA cath lab in 2018 over the controversy and referred the case to the VA's Office of Inspector General, which had no comment for our report. Medtronic declined our interview request but told Full Measure the allegations in this case are false, and Medtronic will continue to defend the litigation as it moves ahead. The company also says Schrader has admitted he has no firsthand knowledge about any problematic procedure involving Medtronic devices, that patients were properly referred for the surgeries, and the physicians used FDA-approved devices from a variety of manufacturers without receiving additional compensation for the procedures or devices. Schrader's whistleblower lawsuit is moving ahead. He says the experience has taught him to suspect there's a lot of misspending of American tax dollars that nobody does anything about.
When you, as a person, can identify a weakness in a VA, it becomes a different game because there is no oversight. It's not your money. It's not the person's money that's buying the product. It's my money, it's your money, it's everybody's money who's watching this. That's the money that's being spent. And their job, if nobody's overseeing it, nobody really cares. It's just another expenditure on the government budget line.
A VA investigation reported that a large spike in costs at the Dole VA were related to buying Medtronic devices. In a recent court filing, the VA said medical records of 59 veterans are being examined for, quote, possible substandard care issues. Ahead on Full Measure, propaganda in the 2024 election. You're probably starting to hear a lot about invisible forces trying to shape the information landscape in the 2024 presidential campaign. We're told to worry about China and Russia and all the disinformation competing for our attention. Scott Thuman looks at the players and finds there is also plenty of homegrown propaganda to worry about.
We are our own worst enemy. Not China, not Russia, not Iran, not Al-Qaeda. We are.
Sean McFate is a former soldier, a national security strategist, and author who says fear over foreign interference in U.S. elections may warrant some concerns, but it's homegrown political operatives and interests that stand a bigger chance to influence voters.
Rewind 20 years ago, and you can look at, what were policymakers saying about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq to get the United States in Iraq.
So it's not always Russia and China we need to be leery of. There's sometimes groups here in the States.
Well, there's big donors, there's big media corporations, they all have their interests. And the question is, are they doing this in a thoughtful, authentic, objective way? Or are they trying to themselves push voters one direction or another with some sort of scare tactic?
Even the White House pushes its own interests. Last year, the House Judiciary Committee revealed Facebook caved to pressure from the Biden administration during the pandemic and banned posts questioning the origins of COVID. Internal company emails obtained by the committee initially show uncertainty around the policy. Can someone quickly remind me why we're removing rather than demoting and labeling claims that COVID is man-made? Asked Nick Clegg, president of global affairs for Facebook's parent company Meta, in a July 2021 email to his coworkers. Then the intent became clear. We were under pressure from the administration and others to do more, replied the social media company's employee in charge of content policy. We shouldn't have done it. A year after those emails were written, the state of Missouri challenged the Biden administration's ability to lean on any social media company to censor content in a lawsuit heard in the state's Supreme Court. The alleged First Amendment violation has now made its way to the U.S. Supreme Court, where Benjamin Aguinaga, the attorney representing Missouri and Louisiana, who later joined the lawsuit, argued before the justices.
The moment that the government tries to use its ability as the government and its stature as the government to pressure them to take it down, that is when you're interfering with third-party speech rights.
Is there a fine line between President Biden asking, for example, big tech companies to remove posts about vaccines that don't mesh with the White House narrative, and Russia bending over perspectives on candidates?
I think it's hard to tell. I mean, there's disinformation and there's misinformation. Disinformation is somebody in St. Petersburg, Russia, creates fake news intentionally to stir the pot. Misinformation is somebody here innocently clicking and retweeting it, right? That's misinformation. It's not just a Biden thing. It's not. No party is better or worse, in my opinion, but that is alive and well today.
In the early days of Ukraine's war against Russia, using propaganda led to a boost in support for their armed forces when a media clip of defiant Ukrainian troops positioned on a strategic military outpost called Snake Island went viral after they were ordered to lay down their weapons by a Russian warship and replied with a defiant expletive. Their quickly reported deaths made them instant heroes. The fact that they didn't die but actually survived and were prisoners did little to lessen the impact. Terrorist groups use it too, like Hamas, who launched a horrific surprise attack on Israel from Gaza in October, killing more than 1,000. Then watched the public sentiment flip against Israel after unleashing devastating counterattacks from land and sky. Even the U.S. government has been called out. In 2019, the Trump administration reportedly attempted to sow unrest within the Chinese government to diminish its global power by using fake social media accounts to make Chinese citizens more skeptical of their own government and leaders. The U.S. also planting that seed around the world where China's spread has grown. And China, hardly an innocent bystander, was accused just weeks ago of interfering in Taiwan's elections.
Look, we live in an information age, and it changes geopolitics. It changes warfare even. 100 years ago, the way you won war was through kinetic firepower. Today, it's with disinformation.
Are we way behind in this game?
We are. I think we're playing too nice. Part of it is also that we're a democracy. We have free companies. We want to keep that. We have freedom of speech. We want to keep that. But you know what? Democracies are vulnerable to it, but democracies are resilient. Autocracies can play these dark arts, but they're brittle. We need to fight back.
I think it was generally accepted that all that fuss about Russian interference in 2016 was, in hindsight, exaggerated.
Well, the effect has certainly been analyzed, and there was a study last year by NYU, New York University, and it was published and it found, quote, no evidence of a meaningful relationship between exposure to that Russian foreign influence campaign and changes in attitude, polarization, and voting behavior.
Despite all the hype. So how do we think that our authorities can tell the difference between foreign propaganda, domestic propaganda, and what is propaganda?
Well, for Congress, the answer could very well be a ban on or the forced sale of TikTok. And it's a unifying issue for both Republicans and Democrats because they know it's a product of Beijing, so it's unifying to Congress. They would also love, on a national security level, to cut off China from that data of the 100 million users of TikTok here in the United States, and they say that would be a step towards separating fact from fiction.
Weirdly, they've been talking about that for years, since Trump was president, so I'm not sure why now all of a sudden it's a bigger deal. But thanks, Scott. Coming up, the indoctrinated brain. Now a fascinating interview with a doctor who's among those making a connection between COVID and a mental shift in some people that seem to make them behave like sheep. Lisa Fletcher interviews Dr. Michael Nels about his new bestseller, The Indoctrinated Brain.
Because we don't have any source.
Dr. Michael Nels is a molecular geneticist and former CEO of a biotech company. His new book, The Indoctrinated Brain, offers a novel explanation for why he says some people seemed to blindly do as they were told during the COVID pandemic, even when the advice was questionable or bad. Nels argues that the COVID vaccine damaged our body's ability to produce cells responsible for decision making.
But conscious thinking requires these cells to be produced. And if they're not produced, conscious thinking is not possible, and then we are just sheep following the herd.
Nels says both COVID and the vaccine cause measurable brain changes that can affect people's ability to think clearly and critically. And he argues that's by design.
What is astonishing is that this vaccine, and particularly the virus which this vaccine is based on, was manipulated. It was created as a bioweapon. We know that.
Are you saying this was intentional or collateral?
I'm a scientist, so I present all the evidence. So I'm not saying I'm the judge, I'm the prosecutor. And the jury of this trial that I put out there will be my readers. And if this mental immune system is now destroyed on purpose or by accident, it doesn't make a difference at the end.
Nell says research shows that COVID and the vaccine target the hippocampus, a complex brain structure that plays a major role in learning and memory. Every night when you sleep, it makes new brain cells, a mental immune system of sorts, protecting your ability to remember and think clearly. But COVID and the vaccine, Nels says, disrupt that process. He says there are a number of factors that can trigger that same brain disruption and are the reasons we're seeing an explosion of certain brain disorders.
Depression and Alzheimer have the same cause, a lack of production of new nerve cells in the hippocampus.
Nels says there are largely ignored treatments that can turn the tide for some brain issues. Lifestyle changes like exercise, engagement in life, and nutrition, which includes proper amounts of dietary lithium and vitamin D that most Americans are low on, can prevent or reverse the effects of Alzheimer's, depression, and COVID. But Nels says there's no money in that message. And Nels claims that even at the height of COVID, simple solutions that he says could have saved lives were ignored because they were unprofitable.
The German Cancer Research Center published a paper, and in its title it says 9 of 10 COVID deaths can be prevented by just increasing vitamin D. And there are hundreds of publications out.
So there are hundreds of publications out that validate that research.
Absolutely.
Yet we have this global mania and mad scramble for years to try to deal with COVID, try to quickly produce vaccines.
Absolutely.
What is the explanation for that if the answer was right there in front of everyone?
Well, it was never about health. If people are not able to think clearly, consciously think, and have the ability to choose between two things, then there is no democracy anymore. And this is all happening right now.
Nels acknowledges that his views may be controversial and that he faces opposition from those who dismiss his research. But he says the public needs to have all the information and come to their own conclusions based on evidence. For Full Measure, I'm Lisa Fletcher.
Stay with us. We'll be back with what's ahead next week on Full Measure. Coming up next week on Full Measure, the amount of your tax money lost to fraud in COVID relief schemes continues to go into the stratosphere. We follow the money with COVID scams next week on Full Measure. Until then, we'll be searching for more stories that hold powers accountable. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Sharyl Attkisson.